Good morning, everybody. I guess I stopped counting these videos. I don't even know which one this is, maybe the sixth one. But today I'm going to start a new chapter. It's going to be chapter 2, the corruption of debt. Now, before I get started, it's hot as Hades out here in California. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. I've been outside since I wrote all this down. 7:30. At 7:30 this morning, it was 53 degrees. It's not even 10:30, and it's 73 degrees. It's going to be like 90 something. So I'm trying to do this video early. How y'all feeling? It's been a rough week. As a nurse and statistician and business professional, I can't even watch the news no more. I said no more, not anymore. But anyways, oh yeah, by the way, I am a cannabis nurse, so I do have these earrings, and I am a member on the American Cannabis Nurse Association, and I also sit on the conference committee, so don't act brand new, y'all. Don't act like I ain't never seen this out here. I had to explain that to my kids. So it's for medical purposes, and drug dealers don't do drugs, okay? Anyways, today is going to be chapter 2, the corruption of debt, and it's going to have to be part 1 and part 2 because I had to break down all these investment terms that you all probably look at and say, is she kidding? I wasn't going to continue these videos, but some of you all actually said you all learning something. My family didn't even know that I actually was doing this, so that's the funny part. And my mama was like, oh yeah, baby, you actually know what you're talking about. Like I don't have an MBA. Okay, I'm just a nurse though. Anywho, pages 7 through 10 of this book is going to be part A, and page 10 to 12 it's going to be part B. If you bought the book and following along, I'm not endorsing the book. I don't get a check for this. This is something I want to do as a good Samaritan, and hopefully you all paying attention. So let's get started. So on page 7, it says, and I'm reading this and I'm just going to break it down for y'all. It says, again, the only way government can give away something is by first taking it from somebody else. Did you hear that? Okay, y'all got that, right? Okay. Y'all spend y'all stimulus check already? Because I spent it in the first day. Okay. Just think about that, though. This is critical. The government's taking what it wants. Okay, let me reiterate that. The government taking what it wants is exactly what has created the crisis we face. Now, I didn't write this. The book wrote this. Taxes are the most obvious way the government takes what it wants to redistribute. Now, they said we don't have to pay taxes on this. Okay. I'm going to skip. I'm only going to read what I highlighted. It says, when the government realizes it can't take any more from you through taxes, it uses debt to take from your children and grandchildren. I'm doing these videos because my daughter loves YouTube for some odd reason, and my son in this Fortnite, I'm about to like scream. I told this boy, when Fortnite gets some stocks, holler at your mama. So your kids are paying attention. Please talk to them. If you don't want them seeing the cannabis earrings, and trying to explain to them that I'm a nurse and a business professional, just paraphrase. But please teach your kids. My son woke up this morning because I was frustrated. I said, you're the worst intern I've ever had. I fired this man so many times, young man, several times. He woke up and did all the things I told him to do. Now, my young daughter, she over here talking about what can she do to earn money. I said, the world don't work like that. You just don't wake up and say you feel like earning virtual coins for your little Roblox or Fortnite. You don't wake up and say, I feel like working today. You have to be dedicated. So yes, my kids are driving me crazy too. You're not alone, but it's a teachable moment. So I'm teaching them with this channel and all the companies I created. I'm teaching them money. And so my preteen told me, I think I'm ready for stocks. Yeah, right. We'll see about that. So I promised him when he turned 12 and up, I will teach him. So enough of that tangent. So we're going to move along. It says here, a 2014 Harvard study put it this way. If the federal government spends its yearly revenues exclusively on debt reduction and cease all of its operations, it would take 3 or 4 years to pay down the debt. Really? And y'all want them to keep printing? Listen, I need the money too. Do it look like a college professor over here looking good? I can't even look good right now. You see my hair? Okay. Do it look like I could be a nurse right now? I'm in the middle of nowhere. If you know where Air Force Base is, you already know it's in the middle of nowhere. By the time I drive to the hospital, I'll be like, you know what? I don't even feel like doing 12 hours, 16 hours. And then I had to come take care of these kids because we homeschooling. So we all in this together. We all hurting. But if we keep printing, yeah, I did this. If we keep printing, we're going to be like Zimbabwe. And I don't know if you know about Zimbabwe, but they had to burn their money because this is the only thing it was good for. And we ain't going to talk about Greece. We ain't going to talk about them, okay? Their economy so shot. So I'm going to keep reading. Or the government could pay down the debt in one blow if it simply took more than $52,000 from every person living in the United States, including children, the elderly, and the unemployed. You have 52 G's a year with your kids and everybody? Okay, because I don't. I didn't even finish reading the sentence. It says, if this one-time debt reduction fee were levied only on those in the workforce, the cost would be over $106,000 per person. We are in so much debt as a country that back when this book was written back in 2015, it would take $106,000 per person. Your big mama, your Thea, your kids, hell, maybe the dog at this point, to pay off the debt. And don't get twisted up. We found this country on debt, so don't come at me with that whole administration stuff. I actually have college degrees. I ain't stupid. I said ain't. We found this country on debt. Read your history. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to be a government official right now because I wouldn't. They kind of like a catch-22. But here I highlighted this part. It says, if you add up all our government, corporate, and consumer debt, Americans owe roughly $60 trillion. That's 5 years ago. I don't even want to think about what it is. And here's a graph if you want to look at it for my visual learners. Can y'all see? It's hot, but I'm trying. So, no, I'm sorry. Correction. That was 2014. Back in 2014, 729,000 per U.S. family will have to clear the debt per family. This massive amount of national debt cannot be financed at any real rate of interest. I hope you are paying attention to this because for you all that say you hate money or you hate math, you hate money. Like I tell my kids that I know in the neighborhood, wherever I live as a military spouse or any person who deal with money, because you're going to the candy store and buying a TV, you're a consumer. If you say you hate math, you hate money. And now you have made yourself a slave to debt. I'm good. Now, some debt is good, depending on if you're an entrepreneur or a business. But you still need to know what you're doing. Even if you don't get an MBA like a lot of us did, you can self-study. I know the library's not open, but you can Google. I'm sure you can find a way to Google. Or borrow a neighbor's internet for 5 minutes. Like barter, I don't know. But if you sit here and blame the government every 5 minutes for your poverty, that ain't gonna work because they broke too. The government can't keep their own lights on, okay? So you gotta learn for yourself because if not, I've been homeless before with Hurricane Katrina. I know how it is out in these streets. Thank God I didn't have kids. But what kept me afloat is having a trade and finishing my degree, my education. So self-teach yourself if you can't go to college. Or phone a friend. I don't know what to tell you. We're going to move on to page 9. I'm going to stop at page 10 because I need to break down. The next 2 pages is like very important. Yes, I did that because looking at this graph. So Stansberry research.com, they have this graph in the book right here. And like I said, it's obsolete, but the predictions are not because, stats don't lie. May alter a little bit. But stats is statistics and it's a pattern. We all have a pattern. If you wake up and drive your car the same way, the same routine you do, the economy has the same patterns too. So if you study the patterns, then you can figure out what's working for you, what's not working for you. So that's what a lot of statisticians do with the economists. And the hedge funders and the researchers, the investment researchers, and all those people. Yeah, you want all the millions per year in these jobs, but do you want the stress that come with it? That's why I teach. So it says this debt addiction has filtered into three critical areas of the economy. Now, I'm reading the book. Instead of learning from the mistakes that crippled our economy in 2009 when the mortgage bubble burst, we have created three new bubbles that could soon blow up. So I remember I was back in graduate school in Maryland. We were stationed in D.C. at the time. And my mom called me. This was in 2007. I was working for the United States Department of State headquarters in D.C. And my mom said, I'm about to buy a house. Interest rates are great. I said, you gonna buy a house? Do you know that a recession coming? Girl, what you talking about? The interest rates are good. Okay, mama. Do what you do, but don't call me for no money. So, so she was just researching around. And I guess I'm very sarcastic. So my mom was like, okay, my daughter said this. It's a reason. And for years as a healthcare professional, I've always had an inkling for a business because growing up, all we did talk about money. I'm so tired of money. That's all we talked about. Nothing else. Jesus and money. Money and Jesus. I'm so tired of it. But looking back, they both have helped. So I guess it's a good thing. Whatever. But anyways, 2000. So my mom, I said, Mom, it was July of 2007. I remember because it was hot just like today. And I was in front of Pentagon Federal Credit Union, whatever. It's been a while. It's been a good couple years, okay? I'm getting old. And I ain't eat my rosemary for my memory today. But no, real talk. My mom said, I think I'm going to hold off. You right. I said, if you buy a house, you might be upside down in your house in about a year. Fast forward, a year comes, economy crash or crashing, or how my investment buddies say, stop saying crash, Shalena. Say the economy recorrect itself. Nobody don't know what that means if you're not in investments. It's going to crash. The same thing as recorrecting. Anyways, so my mom to this day thanked me. Thank you for saving my life of not buying this house. And I said, it wouldn't have been a good thing. So I sacrificed my youth. You know, I've been in school for years. I told you that in all the other videos to help other people. And the reason why I'm a nurse going back into business is because a lot of nurses and physicians and military people making this good old money, and they broke because they have no time to invest their money. They have no time to even research it. They don't even know what safe havens to put their money in because they constantly at the workplace. And so then the kids suffer. And then you wonder why I know people who make $180,000 to $200,000 a year and still in debt. How are you in debt making almost $200,000 a year? Because you don't know what to do with your money. Well, my grandma always say, when I say big mama, I mean my grandma. My grandma always said, it doesn't matter what type of job you have, it's what you do with your money. And so you get mad at the people that's called essential personnel that make $8 an hour and why they have a better portfolio than you. Well, some people actually take time and look into their money because it's not for you, it's for your family. So when I'm giving these videos, I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about 4 generations of people who count on me every day. So that's the stress. But moving along, you really want to know what these 3 new bubbles are. And so like I told my mom before all this stuff started happening, I told my business students, I told y'all in the earlier videos, if I am a practicing nurse, that means the economy is crashing. I ain't practicing yet, but very soon I will be practicing. And I told them I won't be teaching at the college full-time or part-time or adjunct, whatever. I won't be teaching. I'll be a nurse because they're going to need me. And, you know, for years, everybody in the boardrooms thought I was crazy, like crazy for Cocoa Puffs. You're going to go from teaching how to run a hospital to being a nurse. But I think I'm glad I did because I learned a lot being a nurse. And sometimes you have to do the jobs at the bottom to understand how to make decisions at the top. So think about that. So here you have the largest threat in the United States corporate bond market, particularly junk bonds. So that's why I said this video is going to be long and I'm going to have take 2. So I'm going to end this note here and pick back up with part 2. The largest threat is the United States corporate bond market, particularly junk bonds. Now, if you're an investment guru, you know exactly what I'm saying, and you probably cringe when I read that sentence. If you're an average, American trying to, pay your bills, trying not to let your family drive you crazy, you probably saying, "What the hell did I just say?" So I'm going to end it and then pick back up on page 9, and then I did some research for y'all. Y'all still have to do your own research.